Hi friends, welcome to tonight's live. Whether you're watching on Facebook or on YouTube, I'm so glad you're here. I'm Anne Lewis. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator based on the Sunshine Coast here in Queensland, Australia. And I'm sharing a project tonight that actually is really a lot of fun to make. And despite how it looks, it's actually really easy. What I love about this card is, my motto is making creativity easy. And this is one of those cards that certainly does do that. Now, I'm just going to, wait a minute, I'm changing this around. Right, here we go. This is one of those cards that certainly I've made creativity easy. Oh, look at that. So you're going to love making this card, and I've included the measurements actually in the description. However, you can craft along with me tonight. All you need is a piece of designer series paper. Now I'm doing a Christmas card, but you don't have to do a Christmas card. So you just need one sheet of designer series paper. This is the one that I'm using because it's got a little flash, because this is some new paper. And then I've just made sure that the B-side, as I would call it, the B-side kind of coordinates with it, which is what I've done with this. So this is what I've called, well, there's my A side, this here, and this is my B side. You're going to love this card. So if you get your trimmer out, a little bit of adhesive, and then all you need is this paper and a card base, not the normal size, card base, and also a card insert, which will normally be basic white. Now, what else do I have for you? If you're joining live, please say hello in the comments. I'd love to know where you're watching from and whether you've used, wait a minute, I've already lost my card. Wait a minute, here it is. And whether you've started making your Christmas cards yet. And if you're watching on replay, welcome. Be sure to drop a comment. And if you enjoy the project, don't forget to hit follow or subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Hiyo, so I'm going to just show you where are we? Here we go. Wait a minute. Oh, this is annoying. There's something up on my screen. Here we go. Adios. So have a look at this. So this is a die cut. I've embossed the basic white layer only because you've been hearing me say lately I don't like plain white backgrounds too often. Then I've got a garden green layer here, and this is one of the new products from Stampin' Up. Oh, I've lost it already. How can I lose something? It's called Pine Tree. Ah, it really is. I tidy up so that I don't. Oh, here it is. It's turned upside down. So I'm using Elegant Pine Snowflakes. So it's one of the new online exclusives released today. So I'll just jump off. Wait a minute. I know that's better. So look how gorgeous these colours are. Now it's shaded spruce, old olive. I'm just looking at the colours here. It's the other side. And they kind of match. You can see there's a theme here. This is the one I've used. It's also got Secret Sea. That's a Secret Sea background. And this is old olive garden green background. You can see how gorgeous this is. And I love this. I saved it for another project. And in fact, I chose my paper today from the new stuff just released today. So it's all available in my online store. Now, I sent out my newsletter earlier today, and I think somehow I've knocked this, haven't I? However, I'm not going to use that paper for my next one because I wanted to show you how versatile this this card design actually is. Look what I have, and for the first time ever, I can actually show you the inside. Madeline says it looks hard. It is not hard, and you're going to really like it because there's a couple of tricks and tips that make it easy. Now, I'm not going to go through the catalogue, but I thought I'd give you, look at this gorgeous paper. And I have actually given you a sneak peek of that paper before. Now, there's lots of cards, there's lots of little bit of scrapbooking. I'm going to be using some new ephemera greetings from ephemera pack, and these I've turned into stickers. Now, I know you can't see it in here because that gold reflects a little bit, but on page 15, you'll see what I've used for my sentiment, and I used it on the sentiment for this one as well. So that little sentiment there. Really easy, so I don't have to do any embossing. One of my favourite stamps is this huge, big Merry Christmas. Don't need too much else on it. We're going to be making this at the next class. We're going to be putting some gift cards together, and you're going to get some paper. So there's a lot on the next class, which is the last Sunday of the month. Now, this is truly my favourite paper released today. And you'd say, well, if it's your favourite paper, why didn't you use it today? Who else is like me and their favourite paper they won't actually use? I'm that. That's what I've done today. Look at this. You can see the gold foil on it. So it's got a B side as well. So I love these. Now, there's dies that actually cut these out as well. Now, the back of that is that. I love this. I like it so much I don't want to use it. So dies cut out these images as well. I'm going to show you the back. So there's some more Secret C, my favourite colour out of the new in colours. Who got some of the new in colours when it was on sale in August? Look at that. Just every sheet of this. Are you ready? Look at this. I know. Look, it's really hard. It's so gorgeous. So, and that's the back of that one. So, whilst it's my favourite, I'm still too scuzzy to use it. But I'm going to be using it. I will start using it, I promise. But you can see how gorgeous this actually is. And as I said, it's actually part of a suite, so it has an embossing folder. It actually has some gorgeous stamp sets and also some dies, especially for some tags. I mean, this is still all from that page, all from that suite. It's just so much in here. Now, if you've ordered from me recently, yes, you'll get a complimentary copy sent to you. For those that follow me online, I'll just straighten this up again. For those that follow me online, you'll know it's been a little tough in my house because I've had some major renovations, which unfortunately did not go to plan. So there's been a few challenges. Rightio. So today I'm going to be using this paper. So this was my first paper, just so you don't forget. This is my next one. Now, this is a modern take on Christmas. Now, I know not all of you like a modern take on Christmas. You like those first traditional colours I just showed you. So this is black, white and gold. My favourite sheet. I'm hoping you can see see the gold foil. So each sheet has one side gold foil and the other side is a matte colour. So the B side. It's interesting. I always use both sides equally as much because sometimes the gold foil is a little bit too much, so I need to split it. Rightio, let's get going. Now I've got some. Now the measurements are also in the description. Here are the measurements again. So if you want to take a quick screenshot, you can at the moment, but I'll walk through these as well. Now, let's get going. I'll bring these back over. So the first thing that we're going to do is with that gorgeous sheet of designer series paper, this one here, I'm going to cut a piece out of that using my trimmer. That is 12 inches by 5 1/4. I'm just going to put this out of the way and give me a little bit of room. Now, so I know this is 12 inches and I haven't touched it. So I just need to cut 5 1/4. Okay. Make sure it's nice and straight. Don't forget how good our trimmer actually is. It actually opens up. It actually is 17 inches wide. So great for scrapbooking or home decor. Anyway, let's cut this. So this has got, I'll show you the two sides of this. That was 5 1/4. And then that's the other side. I haven't got a lot of that showing. Now, what I need to do for this, grab my trimmer again, and I'm going to score at 2 inches. So get rid of the cutting blade and it slides out of the way. Now, hopefully, can you just let me know that you can hear and see me? I forgot to check that. I'm just going to score this. Now, I'm not going to press too hard. I'll move this up a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. Those stripes are a little distracting. And then I'm going to also score at 4 inches. So I just slide it across, reclip this down 4 inches. Then what I do is spin it around and do 2 and 4 inches on the other side. That just makes it really easy for me to remember what the measurements are. As I said, don't press too hard, probably, or otherwise, especially with this paper, it's not as thick as some of our papers. And so you just need enough. Now, then you're going to fold back. So this, I'll show you what to do. Fold back, fold over, and then fold this one side back and then fold over. Now, I'll show you how this comes together in a second. I'll just grab my bone folder. So you want these two joins, see that? You want those two to actually be nicely lined up and nice and square. They're not square, that's what your bone folder can help with. All right. And I'll show you the shape of this. Who else is cutting out at the same time as me? Now, can anyone, I haven't got anyone who comments on seeing that you can see and hear me. So just leave a comment. Now, so that's how this will now sit. So it kind of looks like that. So when I fold it back in, this is what makes it called a gatefold card. Now, I'm just going to, there's two ways you can do this, but I'm going to do it on a ruler. On this side, so this flap here, I'm just going to mark down 2 inches. All right, just put a little mark there. Do exactly the same. Make sure it's opened up. Same on this side, 2 inches. All right. And And I'm going to cut from that little mark that I've just left there up to that fold line that I just scored. So you can see that's my fold line. And there's an easy way to do that. And that is, getting this all crooked, is you're going to, I hadn't realised how hard this paper is actually to see on a video. Anyway, so that's where my pencil is, that's my score line. So it's sitting in the cutting track. And this is the little mark I left. So I'm making sure it's in the cutting track as well. This is one of those things you just need to double check, because sometimes when you move one, the other one automatically moves. And I'm just cutting off that nice little triangle. Right, yeah. Then I'm spinning it around, doing exactly the same the other side. Now, when I said there was 2 ways to doing the measurements, I used a ruler, but I actually could have just used my trimmer. Could have lined up this edge with the cutting track and then picked the 2 inches there, which would have made it really easy. So I'm assuming that nobody can hear me. Is that right or wrong? Please let me know. Rightio. So again, I'm lining up the little mark that I put there and the score line here, and I'm cutting another triangle off. Now, so this now looks like that. Now, this is one of those cards, let's straighten this out again, that until you put it together, you never know how it's going to come together. Now, these 2 little pieces that I've cut off, this is one of the things that makes this card easy, is you're just going to turn it around to get what I call the B side, and you're going to stick this down here. So now it actually matches, and you can see where that diamond shape is starting to form. Hello. So how easy was that? Hello. There's that one, and we'll do the same. So I've got the B side showing here. Now, if this didn't stick because it is a foil, I would just use some double-sided tape, but I think it's sticking. If not, I would just come back and do that. So I want this nicely lined up, nice and square. There we go. So at the moment, it sits like that. Now, I need my card base. I'll bring this back. So my card base is 5.5 by 4.25. Now for this card, I had 2 choices. I could do white or I could do black. Now I've gone for the dramatic black. So I'm cutting a card base that is 5.5 by 4.25. Do 4.25 first, and you'll understand why. 4.25. My 5.5. And you'll see I get this nice little border around, which makes it even pop a little more. And there we go. So I can stick that down. That's it. It's easy. I'm just going to use some of the multi-purpose glue here. Now, this paper is called, what did I say it was? The Modern Christmas Specialty Designer Series paper. And as I said, it's an online exclusive. I'm just going to lay this down. Need to get it nice and centered. Now, what I always do is just get my bone folder to make sure it's stuck down everywhere. And you can see it's now starting to pop a little bit. Then bring back my instructions. So there's been nothing difficult so far. And look, it's looking pretty good so far. It's a bit more to do. Now, I want a 2 3/4 inch square coordinating cardstock. Now, for me, I would stick to whatever the colour my card base is. Oh, isn't that interesting? But I didn't. And I should have. So I will actually recut that. And so I'm going to do a black at 2 3/4 rather than the gold. I obviously got a little carried away there. Now, just bring this down so that you can see what I'm doing. So I'm just cutting a square 2 3/4. Now, when I first cut this, I used Stylish Shapes, which gives a stitched edge. But I just wanted to show you didn't need any fancy dies. So there's my piece. It's going to sit like that. And all of a sudden you can see how this card actually pops. And I've got that. Now, do I want to put a gold underneath that as well with a little tiny trim? No, I think it's too much. So let's just keep it to putting this layer. Now, remember this layer is 2.5 inches and this is 2 3/4. So I can just adhere this together. Now, where did I get this white layer? I actually die cut it, and you'll see, from this paper. So all I did, where do we find this sheet? Here we go. You can see I've chopped into it a little bit. Make that a little less busy. So you can see I just chopped a little piece out, die cut it, so I could get that centre with that trees that kind of match this paper because it all coordinates. Oops, I wasn't looking. I didn't check that. Oh, let's see if I can pick that up. I didn't check that before I got sidetracked. Can I pick this up? I think I can. I know. And I'll just apply the glue again. I'll have to make sure it's nice and flat. It's one of the good things about about this time I'll pay attention that I've got my borders correct. About using multi-purpose glue. It just takes a little longer to actually, and Madeline's now saying, okay, this no longer looks too hard. And it isn't. It is such an easy card. Now, you can see that all I want to do is adhere this on one side. And if I stick it together like this, it's never going to open. So let's line this up. Now, where's my original card? And you can see how it kind of comes together. Now, this leaves, where's a pencil or some? There's a bit of a gap between that and this corner. So don't be worried about that. You can see on this one quite a lot clearer that there's that gap. It doesn't go right to the very point, and that's okay. Now, I want to pop this up just to give it a little bit of dimension. So I've got some dimensionals here. this is kind of just about finished this. Now, I'm just going to put this here. I'm pretty sure that's going to work. Yep. Then that makes it easy for me to make sure that I've got the glue where I need it to be. I might just move that in just a smidgen. There we go. Then on so it's going to sit like that. Just on this corner, I'll add some more dimensionals. I don't know, maybe one more. I think they're in the right place. I think so. I think there. Oops, one too many there. Get rid of that. All right, so let's peel that off. And I'll peel the backs off these. That's what I said, you can use whatever designer series paper that you might actually have. So what I want to make sure of is that my 2 points line up with this fold and that it's actually in the middle. Now if I get my 2 points right, put that a little bit, I want it nice and square, center. I know. How special does that look? See, you wouldn't have expected it to turn out as dramatic as that. Now, you've heard me say this, I'm trying to use up my many embellishments. So I'm not using current embellishments, but there's plenty either in the annual catalogue, online, or also online exclusives. But I'm going to use these gorgeous stars. Now, these go back to 2023. They're called Star Trinkets. Another one of my favourites. And I didn't use them because I love them too much. So I'm not doing that anymore. I'm just going to add, let's just see where I'm going to add some. Oh, actually, before I do that, let's grab a sentiment, if I can find. Here we go. Now, this is the Christmas ephemera pack. So it's full of Christmas sentiments. And there's stickers now. How good is that? I'm so much more excited because now I don't have to glue them. There's a whole pack. I think what does it say? I'm sure it will tell me here. There's 6 sheets of these. So there's so many in them and they're such a reasonable price. And it means, well, for me, who likes to have a little bit of bling on her Christmas cards, it actually means that I don't have to heat emboss to get that gold foil finish, especially with this paper. Now, where will I put this? I think I will just set it down there. Now I can add some, I want a little bit of twine. What do you think? Should I put it's got to sit down the bottom, I think. I might just, no, I think don't want to have it too blingy. So let's peel this off. Now, if I didn't want it to be stickered, I can just leave that on. And I'm going to put it up as much as I can. Obviously, centering it. I know. There we go. So how gorgeous is that? Hi, Myrtle. How are you? So there we go. Then I'm just going to add a couple of these to add a little bit more bling to it. There's a bit more. There's a couple of more steps to go. But you can see how easy this actually is. I love these stars. So I said I keep not using because I love them too much. Oh, where do I put this one? Over here. Righto. Now I just need, just tidy up a little bit. And the other thing that I need on this list, the last thing, is I need a basic white card insert at 4¼ by 3 inches. So let's find a little piece of cardstock. I must have some here. I thought I had some left over, and I do. Oops, I do. So let's cut it. So it's 4¼ by 3 inches. So let's cut my 3 inches first because it's easy. I do. Use my cutter by 4¼ inches. Now I've got a choice here, and we'll just see how it looks. So sometimes you have to change things up. Because as you see, I didn't make this actual card. I made the design, but I didn't use this paper. So sometimes you've got to change things up. Let's open this card up and see if I've got to put, oh, I think it'll look better with a black layer underneath it. Can I get, look at this. So I'm going to put 1/4 inch border on this. So the first one was 3 inches. So I'm going to do 3¼ Let's slide this up so you can see it. 3¼ by 4½. Now, on the other card, I didn't need that extra border. But on this one, I think you do. Because that background is really busy. Let's see. Tell me what you think. Do you think that looks better with the black border? Or would you have left it pretty plain? I know. Now I'm going to stamp on it, and look, I've got so many new stamps to pick from. And I think the one I like and I'm using the most is the traditional labels one, which comes with some dies, but I don't need the dies. And I like this Sending Love and Joy. It just seems perfect for most Christmases. So let's, because I've kept this, you know, I always try, sometimes I forget, to stamp before I stick it down, just in case something goes wrong. So I'm just using Memento Black. And I'm going to just test, this is a new stamp, that this is going to stamp okay in Memento Black. It's not stamping as good as I'd like. So what I always do is then clean it with the stamping scrub. I've got sitting over here under 10 tons of craft supplies. I have yet to clean or tidy up and put away all the new stock. So let's see the difference. So I just use my stamping scrub, and let's see. So much better. Yeah. So let's go here. Now I'm keeping, because there's so much foil and bling on this already, I'm going to keep it pretty simple. Now I always try and keep this, start at least with this. I don't. And that worked well. Let's stick it together. Who would make this card now? Now you've seen how easy it is. And it's also, the thing I like about it, it's one of those cards you can do a cutout in bulk. So you can cut out all your pieces. And then put it together. So this is one of those cards, because this is relatively easy and certainly has the wow. And you can use your That's centered. I like that black. It just makes it pop a little more. Rightio. So here's the card. The first one, I'll show you the first one. There's the first one. They're both busy patterns, but this is the perfect opportunity to get into your busy pattern designer series paper, especially if you've been struggling using it. And this is the second one with all that gold. I don't know, how good is that? I love this card design. Simple, easy, anybody can make. Now, one of the new products in the catalogue are these gold hoops, which you can use for ornaments, or I could have attached it here, but I just kind of went, let's keep it even simpler than I wanted to, so that, because it still looks, I think, pretty special. And I added a bit of bling on the center. I added a bow there, as you can see. So would you make this card, or did you make it with me as we went along? Let me know, because I'm interested whether you'd like to do that follow along with me again on some other cards that are suitable. Ideo, so that's it for tonight. I've kept it pretty simple and quick, and I'm back on board because, as you know, I've been missing a few Wednesday nights because I've had so much on, but now we're back on track and we're ready to go for Christmas. Now, if you would like a catalogue and you'd like me to be your demonstrator, don't forget to send me your details. I've got a link for you. So don't hesitate to just send me an email or a text or a message, and I can send you the link so that I can get your details and then have one of the new catalogues winging its way to you. So Myrtle likes the green one. I like both. And I know that this is not the black and white one, is an unusual choice for Christmas, but lots of people like the modern look. Some like the traditional, and then the super traditional, which is my favorite. I'm sure I'll be making some Christmas cards using that as well. So thanks, everybody. Don't forget, World Card Making Day on the 4th of October, so keep your eye out for what's happening at Anne's Paperworks. I've also got still the charity day to put together some Christmas cards for Meals on Wheels. That's on the first weekend in November, both Saturday and Sunday. You can pick your day or you can come on both days. So Madeline likes the last one. Look, thanks everybody. It's been a pleasure coming back. I'm so excited to be back crafting, and it's been fun tonight. Thank you for joining us. And if you're one of those stalkers who come and watch but don't leave any comments, please help me out. Leave some comments. Tell me what you like. Ask any questions. I always check back to see for any comments, because that really helps me get the word out. Because Facebook and YouTube share my video with the more comments that I get. Thanks, everybody. See you next week.